You see these flowers? Gorgeous, aren't they? But they are super rare and are a nightmare to get hold of. First, you have to find a warm ocean. Then, hope it's got an ocean ruin in it. Then, you need to get a brush and, avoiding the drowned, excavate suspicious blocks to get a sniffer egg, which can sometimes take a lot of goes because the chance of drop is quite low. Then, you have to hatch it. Then, the sniffer has to grow. And then, and only then, can they look for seeds that will then grow into a flower. Phew! And you don't want to be doing that every single time just to get one of these babies. You need a farm. And there are plenty of Sniffer Farm designs out there, but which one is the best? And by that I mean which one gives the best return for the least amount of effort, because let's face it, we're all basically lazy, right? Well, I've been experimenting to find out for you. I'll show you how to build the farm in just a moment, but we need to know a few facts first. If you want to jump straight to the tutorial, there is a timestamp down in the description below. But this next bit's quite interesting. It's only a couple of minutes, so please do think about watching it. A sniffer needs to be fully grown before it can sniff out any ancient seeds. And between digs, it has an 8-minute cooldown. That means once it's found a seed, or at least attempted to find a seed, it's 8 minutes before it can even try again. The sniffer can make a successful search on any one of these 8 blocks. Dirt, grass block, podzol, coarse dirt, rooted dirt, moss block, mud block, or muddy mangrove roots. And this active block has to be 2.25 blocks away from the centre of the body of the sniffer. A sniffer's hitbox is 1.75 blocks tall and 1.9 blocks wide, so they're pretty big. And the sniffer remembers what the last 20 blocks it dug into are, so if you've got a farm that's 20 blocks or less, it's only going to work until it's done all of the blocks in the farm, and then it will just stop. So knowing all that information, how can we make the most efficient sniffer farm? Well, I've got some examples behind me. These are really basic. You can obviously fancy the farms up, but I'm going to show you how to make the basic farm before we fancy it up first. I made farms of different sizes. One of 25 blocks, one of 49 blocks, one of 81 blocks, one of 135 blocks, and then 3 of 189 blocks. One of them with 1 sniffer in, one with 2 sniffers in, and one with 4 sniffers in. I let these farms run for 9 hours, so that is 67 sniffer cycles at 8 minutes per cycle. So what did that actually give us? A 5x5 farm is about as small and efficient as it gets. It's given us 22 in 9 hours, so not a massive yield, but more than 20, which shows it is working. However, it is suggesting that it's only got about a 1 in 3 success rate on the cycles. That's probably because when it digs out along the edges, those seeds are going to pop onto the top of the wood and not onto the grass, which means they're not going to be collected by the farm, so you lose them, so it's not ideal. 49 blocks, a 7x7 square, is giving us a little more here. Look, we've got 34, so that is a little over 50% efficiency. Again, you've got quite a lot of edge blocks in a 7x7, and that's why squares are the most efficient, because it's got more internal blocks versus external edge blocks for the size and shape. 81 blocks in a 9x9. This is giving us 29 plus 19, so that is a 48. We are nearly at decent efficiency. We've still got a number of edge blocks there, so we're probably losing some. And not every search is successful. Every time they dig their nose in, it doesn't mean they're going to bring a seed up. 9x15 now. Yeah, I know it's not a square, but 9x15, you've still got a lot of internal blocks, 135 blocks in total. This is giving us 51, so that's almost 100% efficiency with a single sniffer. 67 cycles, 51 yield. That's pretty good. We have got 189 blocks in a 9x21 now, and in here we have got 55, so a little bit better. And with a single sniffer, that's probably about as efficient as you are going to get. But does it make a big difference when you have 2 sniffers in, multiple sniffers inside? Yeah, I'd say so. It makes a massive difference. We've got 114 there, which if you think about efficiency is even better than just 1 sniffer. Then same size, but with 4 sniffers. It's 189 blocks big. In here, we've got 64, 64, 63, 220 different seeds there. 220, which for 4 sniffers is pretty good. And there's another one coming along just about now as well. Let's watch him dig it up. There we go, another pod. So 2 conclusions to draw from that. You don't get a massive increase in efficiency for a single sniffer once you go above that 135 block size. But if you put multiple sniffers in, you are getting a lot greater efficiency. So farms should have more than 1 sniffer and be around about 135-ish big. which is why I'm now going to show you how to make a farm like this 13 by 13 squares big. This is exactly what you're going to need to be able to build the 13 by 13 farm. You'll also need 169 valid blocks for them to dig around in, but you're going to dig out more than 169 blocks of dirt, so just use that. That sniffer egg represents you need at least one sniffer. Take a screenshot, pause the video, do what you've got to do, let's build it. First thing you want to do is dig out a square that is 13 by 13 and 1 block deep. Now inside, come to any of your 4 sides, it really doesn't matter which, and count up 1, 2, 3 and 4, and then dig out that block and place a hopper going into the side, and then dig out those 2 blocks and dig out those 2 blocks. You should be able to see that the nib of the hopper is facing sideways, and place yourself a double chest in like that. That's brilliant. We are then going to place a powered rail, come across the opposite side from the hopper and place a powered rail against that block there, then come out 1 block and dig that block out. Put a lever on that block there. If you throw that lever, it should turn on the powered rail. If it doesn't, you've done it wrong. And then come along the side opposite where you have the hopper and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. And you're going to cut a trench all the way along 13 wide right to the end, and you're going to place a redstone block in each and every one of these like this. It's time to wind our rails in. You're going to place a normal rail all the way up to, but not including that redstone block. You're then going to place a powered rail on top of the redstone block, and you're going to keep coming all the way up and around, back again, redstone, and then along like this. Right, before you place this one here, you have to check what direction you're facing in. It doesn't matter what direction you're facing in, but what you do changes depending on which direction you're in. Now I am facing north, north-south. Now this is what's going to happen when I place this. Bang, it's going to go there, and if I try and flip it around, it doesn't want to know. What I need to do to fix this is remove that rail, replace it, and then put that rail back, and you are good to go, and then carry on with your winding. If you are facing east or west, you're going to find it is ever so slightly different. Place your block in there, but then when I come around here, it automatically switches to the other side, which is brilliant. You don't have to mess around with breaking blocks. So you may or may not want to think about the direction of your farm before you make it. It's only a tiny little thing, but it's up to you. When you get to your hopper, make sure you shift click onto the hopper. And when you get to the very last corner, take out that block, put in a block of redstone, and then place in a powered rail. It should automatically power. Jump out just by your chest there and place an upside down step just to seal in that side, but you can still open your chest no problem. And then I like to use an oak log, but you can use whatever solid block you want. Place it like that on top of that step, and then go all the way around the outside with it. So you should have something that looks like this. Yes, that is a lot of rails, a lot of iron, I know. However, if you want to make it smaller, I've told you, you can go as small as 5 by 5. You just have fewer seeds. It's entirely up to you. Then come to the corner that you've got your lever and miss out that little corner and get the dirt that you dug out in this 13 by 13 square and create yourself another 13 by 13 square with this dirt. Now you can use any of the other 7 types that we mentioned earlier in the video. People like to use grass, for example, or podzol. It's up to you. As long as you use one of those 8 blocks, it's cool. But I figure you've just dug out a 13 by 13 square of dirt, so why not put it back again? Once you've placed in that 13 by 13 square on that powered rail that is not yet powered, because look, your lever is off, make sure it's off, place a minecart with hopper. If you place it on while it's on, it doesn't matter. Just the noise is a little bit annoying. Why not turn it on when you need it turned on? And then place the dirt or whatever it is you've got in there so as you've got a full square. And it'll look like that. Or like that if you use podzol. Or like that if you use mud. Or like that if you use rooted dirt. I quite like the pattern of that, but that is a lot of rooted dirt. The muddy mangrove roots look quite fun. And obviously the grass block looks a little bit like grass. If you use dirt, it could all eventually turn into grass anyway if you've got any grass around the outside. Decide which side is your front. I'm going to go with a bit with the lever and come right next to that lever so you've got the dirt in front. You can count across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Place a gate right there, and then all the way around the rest of it you're going to place fence posts. Obviously there is lots of opportunity to change this up using walls and all kinds of other stuff as well. I'm using fence posts just to keep it simple. You can make your design bones go crazy on this one. Do whatever you'd like, but make sure you completely surround that pen. Then place a lantern on all 4 of these corners. That will make sure that you've got a light level that is high enough to stop any mobs spawning anywhere inside your pen. Then grab your other step and place it right there. come inside through your gate, close the gate up if you want, if you're being followed, and right in the middle, actually doesn't matter, place your egg. This is going to hatch out into a snifflet, which will eventually become a sniffer. At this point, if you've got more than one egg, absolutely brilliant, get that one in there as well. Now, as you saw before, this works with just one sniffer, but if you get 2 in there and get yourself some torchflower seeds, you can breed them up and multiply them up as much as you want. And there isn't really a limit to the number of sniffers that you can get inside this farm. You could argue, well, there could be 25 sniffers in the same block and one of them will die. Well, I'm telling you now, if you can get 25 sniffers into one block in here, you've done pretty well. But the test showed very clearly, the more sniffers, the more seeds you're going to get. And once your sniffers hatch out, you are good to go. They're going to start digging around in the dirt and hopefully they'll start popping up seeds like this one. Nice torchflower seed there, thank you very much. Once that's happening, get that lever. That will set off the minecart with hopper, and the minecart with hopper will pick up that seed, and once it gets over this hopper at the right, it will drop the seed into this chest here. It can take a little while because you've got 169 blocks for it to go through. But if I keep watching, and yes, I am stalling, can you tell? Keep watching, I'm stalling, keep watching, there it goes. I knew it would come. And this farm will keep going forever. It has to be loaded, so maybe put it in the spawn chunk so it's always loaded in Java. It works in Bedrock and Java, which is really lovely. But, you know, just get as many of these seeds as you want. Grow up as many of these flowers as you want. You can decorate your world with torch flowers. Maybe get those pitcher plants going. That would be amazing. Oh, this one's going to have a bit of a sniff as well now. And you can keep it with this really simple design, or you can fancy it up a bit. I've got a few ideas I'm about to show you. This farm design's quite fun. This is an almost oriental looking build with a gentle sloped roof there made out of dark oak. I've placed some cobblestone walls instead of fences, but I put 3 gates so you get that quite nice shape with the gates going up in the middle. We've put dark oak around the edge here using slabs and also steps, and we've put stone brick blocks in instead of the oak. It looks all right. Inside I've left it with dirt because it doesn't really matter, does it? But we have got under there, you can see a sea lantern lighting up the inside, and we've used lanterns around the outside again to give that more oriental feel, plus more importantly, light it up so nothing spawns inside. Or you could just go to town. I had no idea where I was going with this one, not the faintest idea. Certainly didn't think it would look like this, but I'm quite pleased with the way it came out. This is very oriental looking, and what I quite like is the fact that the mangrove wood matches beautifully there with those sniffer fir, and the green of these bushes matches with the green fir as well, so it's kind of in keeping. Alternatively, make something a little bit more modern. You're in and out through this iron door. This is smooth stone, plenty of sea lanterns, so this is a bit more of an expensive build, but it looks quite nice. I've changed up the inside to muddy mangrove roots because I think that offsets against the colour of the smooth stone really quite nicely. But that could be in a spaceship, for example. Maybe these are aliens and they're an exhibit, or maybe it's a zoo, or maybe it's like an aquarium. You decide what you want it to be. Just let your imagination run wild. I'd be really interested to see what you come up with, to be honest, so maybe send me an image in the Discord. The link is in the description below. So there you have how a sniffer farm works, the way to make it most efficient, what not to do to make it not work, and also some inspiration for how you might want to make your farm look when you eventually build it. These seeds turn into some gorgeous flowers. They're some of the nicest plants that we've got in Minecraft. I highly recommend you use them for the decoration in your builds. That and the fact that the sniffers are quite cool, aren't they? I mean, look at them, they're massive. They're about the size of a ravager, and yet they give you seeds and they don't bite your head off like a ravager does, so that's a good thing. And I'll look forward to seeing you in another video. You take it easy now. Bye.